YouTube? It's Rico, man. I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on, man. This is a video by Kid Nerd. Shout out to Kid Nerd. Always putting out bangers and stuff and putting out content that us content creators that do reaction videos are able to react to, and pretty much got very solid videos that got very credible information and stuff. I ain't saying he perfect now, but he definitely posts credible videos and stuff. He's not gonna come just posting any old type of information and stuff. He's gonna post as much information as possible that's accurate and stuff like that. So with that said though, man, shout out to him. But y'all know what time it is, man. We got the deadly dance battle in the Bronx, Kayflock versus Dthang. So we got some NY drill to react to pretty much. But with that said, man, if you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now. Also, don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel as well, and hopefully they become supporters of the channel. And make sure you guys smash that like button and comment on the video as well, and that'll help the video out in the algorithm. And also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos, and to be sure you don't miss out on new videos, because sometimes post notifications do not work at all. Check out the channel every day, no matter the time of the day, just because you never know when I'm gonna drop and you don't want to miss out. And also, don't forget to add and follow me on social media. All my social media platforms are listed down below in the description box as well as in the intro of the video. With that said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and start the screen record. That started and starting the vid now.
Bronx right now got all the views beating all on YouTube. Dead ass. We up. We up. What you talking about?
New York is a war zone right now, with a 60% increase in overall crime and 30% increase in murders this year, in less than a 5-year period from when New York crime was at an all-time low in 2018 to 19. And all eyes are on the north of the city, the Bronx. So guys, before I get into this video, I've partnered up with Atlas VPN to give you a deal of a lifetime. Now I'm sure most of you know what a VPN is, but for those that don't, it pretty much allows you to browse the internet through an encrypted tunnel, which protects you from spying, public Wi-Fi data, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney things. Movies which you can't watch on UK's Netflix is running a huge discount. You can atlasvpn.com/stadium, but it's also the poorest borough of New York and has the high.
Go back just a little bit.
It's also home to the Yankee Stadium, but it's also the poor.
Alright, I think this is where we're gonna stop and just
Let's get into the
on.
video. Now the Bronx is known for a lot of different things. Hip hop was born there, and it's also home to the Yankee Stadium, but it's also the poorest borough of New York and has the highest crime rate. Unlike other parts of New York, the Bronx hasn't really been developed and gentrified too much, with old crime-ridden blocks kind of being neglected, while a lot of New York's other boroughs, like Manhattan and parts of Brooklyn, have been cleaned and built up. Now recently, all the attention in the rap game has been circulating in the Bronx. The drill scene has been popping off over them sides, with teenagers from the poorest and most dangerous blocks in the Bronx becoming stars almost overnight, with a new style of drill music using faster paced UK drill beats with crazy dances and demonic lyrics. The top stars on the scene right now have to be two artists called Dthang and Kayflock, and the weird thing is these two are actually cousins, and to make it weirder, they're also ops.
Dang, that's crazy. And this whole time I knew they had a beef, but I wasn't really reading in too much into what they had going on and stuff. I just knew that they didn't like each other and shit like that, and obviously they both do music and stuff. So that said, that's definitely new information to me. I didn't know they was cousins, but that just go to show you, man, how crazy the street life is, man. You could be beefing with your own family members over because y'all represent two different gangs and shit like that. So with that said, man, the gang life, it really don't show no love for real, man, because there's people willing to really get down on their own family if they got to, just to show that they really represent their side and stuff like that. So it's just really a crazy situation for pretty much everybody involved at the end of the day. But that's their choice. They grown men. Well, some of them are grown men, and they feel like that's what's best for them, then they gonna do it. It's just that simple, man. Obviously, we all wish that the streets and shit didn't really exist, but at the end of the day, it's here to pretty much stay. I don't really see it getting stopped anytime soon or slowing down or anything of that nature. Like, it's gonna take a whole lot for that to really realistically happen. But with that said though, man, we're gonna go ahead and continue on.
With Dthang coming from the infamous housing project called the River Park Towers, which are a set of 4 big apartments on the south side of the Bronx, which are also the biggest buildings in the whole of the Bronx. Dthang's gang is called RPT, which is short for the River Park Towers complex, but RPT is part of an even bigger gang called the YGs, which is an alliance between RPT and a few more blocks in the Bronx. Dthang's cousin Kayflock is in a gang called Southside or DOA, and they beef the YGs and pretty much every other block in the south of the Bronx, including another gang called the OGs, who are from a housing complex called Cortlandt T Avenue, which is home to another 2 big rappers from the borough called B-Love and Shawty K. But the OGs from Cortlandt T used to actually be part of the YGs gang until they fell out and then started the OGs movement. Same way OGs used to actually be linked up with Southside until a recent dispute. An affiliate of the OGs and Southside called E.Baby went on Instagram Live smoking with Southside's ops. Instantly, Southside rapper Kayflock took to Insta Live, stating that he's not messing with E.Baby, and anyone that's with E.Baby can get caught in the crossfire.
So, word of my mother, when Ida see me, word of my mother.
But it seemed like the OGs are proving their loyalty towards E.Baby, with OG's rapper Shawty K taking to Instagram Live starting to diss Kayflock's dead friends from Southside, despite the two being friends just months previous.
And that right there is the main reason why I feel like the street life would never cease to exist, just because of the simple fact, when people start mentioning dead people and stuff, it's people that really care about them people for real, and sometimes they don't even want to talk shit out. They just want to go ahead and turn that person into another body type shit. They don't give a fuck. Cause once you start mentioning the dead, they see that as one of the ultimate disrespect things you could do in a beef, and let alone in the streets in general, just because of the simple fact they really had ties to them people for real. They really went through a lot with those people. They been pretty much ride or die for each other up until that person ultimately lost their life, etc., etc. So it's when it comes to dissing, you just pretty much asking for a lifelong cycle of beefing and shit like that. So with that said though, man, we're gonna go ahead and continue on.
Previous.
What is outplay? You play and it records. You can choose exactly what you want it to record, whether it be kills, assists, deaths, wins, just the action, which saves you a lot of recording space and
But this also puts fellow OG's rapper B-Love in a weird position. B-Love actually used to live on the same block where Kayflock lives until he moved to Cortlandt T Avenue. And it seems that B-Love is still friends with his childhood friend Kayflock, despite both of their gangs now beefing. So as you could probably tell, the gang politics...
Yeah, that's definitely new to me too. I didn't even know that they own sides is pretty much beefing with each other, but they still the main two cool with each other. But you got situations like that in the streets in a lot of different places and stuff in other cities and shit like that. You got people who obviously on opposite sides, but you got those people that's really grown up together and stuff, and they don't let that come in between their friendship and stuff like that, they brotherhood, whatever you want to say and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, like I said, the street life, it definitely showed, it's definitely crazy. Like, it don't show no love at all for real, because at the end of the day, if y'all on opposite sides and y'all really got beef to that extent, it could ruin a lot of shit. It could ruin friendships that y'all probably had when y'all grew up together, being able to be around each other and stuff like that and hang out as brothers, etc., and stuff like that. So if you in the street life, you gonna have to eventually choose a side, or if you one of those people that's really highly respected and stuff like that, you able to still be cool with other people from different sides and stuff, and you don't really have a side in any of the beefs and stuff. So it's only very rarely few people that got that type of respect where they can go hang out with whoever they want to hang out with and can't nobody question them and shit like that. So you just pretty much gotta have that type of respect to really be able to do something like that. And obviously it look like those two got the respect of their own people and stuff to do whatever they please and hang out with whoever they please and stuff, because they know at the end of the day, when it come down to it, they not gonna jam each other up or anybody on each other's side up and stuff. It's only gonna be pretty much in a situation where if they catch them and they not with the people that's able to keep the peace and shit, then it's obviously gonna be whatever it is at that point. You're gonna have to defend yourself or whatever the case may be, et cetera, et cetera. So if you ain't around those two when they together and stuff, or whatever the case may be, then you pretty much free game at that point. But that said, though, we gonna continue on.
In the Bronx is quite confusing, and it could be a bit unclear on who has problems with who. But one thing that is clear is that both the OGs and Sevside do not like the YGs, and this is something which is not new. It all kicked off on April 16th, 2012, after the OGs from Cortlandt T Avenue broke off from the YGs. YG members were out drinking when they got into an argument about who was putting in the most work for the gang. The argument got personal, and certain members wanted to prove themselves. So after drinking, they all went to the OG's territory to look for OG members. They eventually spotted a 16-year-old OG's member called Noah Bala and approached him. 20 YG's members then proceeded to grab Noah and started to brutally stomp him out right outside his apartment building, fracturing his bones and leaving him dead. This murder really kicked stuff off in the Bronx, but anywhere that a murder like Noah's happens, police are never far behind it.
And like that's what I was saying, man. The streets don't show no love, man. It don't matter how old you is, who you know at the end of the day and stuff like that. You just end up a statistic. That's just what it really is, man, at the end of the day. So the situations like these are the reasons why these beefs also continue on down there for a life cycle and stuff like that. So that's why I say the street life ain't really gonna ever go nowhere, just because if you dissing the dead or you kill somebody, it's just gonna spark the beef to keep going on forever and however long you want to continue on and shit like that, making it hard for people to really try to work shit out for real, because it's like, put yourself in their shoes. You going against the other side, they talking about your dead people, they also killing your people and shit like that. So it's like, at the end of the day, what can y'all really talk about? At that point, it's just nothing but action from there on. Like, it ain't no really talking shit out. It ain't no try to make peace, etc., etc. It ain't gonna be none of that. So that's why I say, man, the street life really ain't gonna go nowhere for real.
In New York. Now, New York's police force, the NYPD, are the kings of gang takedowns and indictments. They are very good at letting gangs believe they're getting away with their activities, but the whole time, they're watching everything. And that's exactly what the feds were doing to the YG gang.
That's crazy, because this footage right here, I was reacting to another video. I can't remember who video it was. I would have to go back. I think it was by Trap Lord Ross when he was talking about the beefs between the Bloods and Crips out there. I think that's where that footage was from. But yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. People be ending up in situations like this, and them police, they don't care what time of day it is. They coming to get you when you least expect it. So you just pretty much gotta be very careful out there for real. And that's anywhere, to be honest, because everywhere the police force, I feel like they got that same tactic. Let's go get these people in the middle of the night, or let's go get them early in the morning when they least expect us to come and get them and shit. So other than that though, man, we're gonna continue on.
After the murder of Noah, the police set up a 3-year investigation on the YGs, using CCTV and undercover officers to track any drugs they sold in the streets and any altercations they were getting into with rival gangs. In late 2015, the feds decided it was time to close in on the gang, and they arrested and charged 22 members of the YG's gang on racketeering charges and the violence they were bringing to the streets, which included 3 murders.
Yeah, now that you keep talking about it, it definitely was from Trap Lord Ross video and stuff, when he talked about the Bloods versus Crips and stuff, and all the sets and stuff that's beefing with each other out there in New York and stuff. So now that's where I definitely remember this stuff from. But let's continue.
and 30 non-fatal shootings. This was a big blow to the YG's gang, but this wasn't the end of the gang completely. It was time for the younger members of the gangs to step up. Recently, with the rise of drill music in the area, guys have been on some wild stuff. The last few years has been a lot of bloodshed in the Bronx, and with more indictments throughout the years, taking down a lot of older figures in the Bronx. The streets were left with a bunch of kids running around, continuing the gang politics their older counterparts left them with, and it's like what the younger generation like to do nowadays. They were making sure the whole of social media was seeing what's happening on the streets. On April 7th, 2020, a YG's rapper called Lottie and his friends were lurking on a gang linked to the OGs called the OYs, when a 28-year-old called Williams Hopton went and rented a zip car in Harlem, and then proceeded to pick up 3 members of the OYs gang, who again are affiliated with the OGs. The OYs members started to drive around Harlem packed with brooms and knives looking for Lottie, until they reached West 154th Street and spotted the 17-year-old YG's member called Lottie at 12:50 AM. The OY's members proceeded to jump out the rented zip car and started to chase Lottie. Lottie tried to make a run for it, but he tripped over and was ultimately stabbed and beaten to death. And while all of this was going on, a 16-year-old boy who was part of the attack was filming it all for Snapchat, screaming, "Stop running, Lottie."
And that's how people be getting caught up. Hold on, let me let this ad. And like I was saying, that's how people get caught up, man. Posting too much on social media, man. Y'all gotta realize there's too many people in this world to be just posting anything on social media. It's 9 times out of 10 you're gonna post, if you post something that you know is illegal and definitely not gonna be tolerated by the police, you gotta understand they're gonna have a lot of eyes on social media platforms just waiting for somebody to post something that's gonna pretty much put them in a situation as a suspect and stuff. This shit right here pretty much is doing a job for them and stuff. So with that said, man, you just gotta be careful on everything you post on social media if you in that type of lifestyle, because it's gonna be police watching and just waiting for somebody to incriminate themselves in a crime and stuff to help them do their job and shit and make it easier for them. So that said, man, y'all gotta stop trying to post everything on social media just to prove that y'all about that life and stuff. If y'all really about it, the only thing that should matter is the people around you know you about it, and your ops, they gonna feel however they feel. Whether you really about that life or not, the ops is not gonna give you that type of respect where like, oh yeah, he really like that for real. Not like I'm still disrespect him and shit. Like it don't matter what he did or what people done said he did. We ops, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just say you ain't about that life, and I'm gonna dish you or whatever the case may be, etc., etc. But it's only very few people that get that type of respect, though. It's only very few people that get that respect where the ops ain't gonna mess with that person because they know that person really, really like that for real, to the point where they don't want to test that person for real. Because if they test them, they already know what the end result gonna be, and it's not gonna work out in their favor type shit. So, like I said, it's only very few people, though, that get that respect for real. But with that said, let's continue on.
Stop running, Wulani!
So as you could probably guess with the video footage and the zip car rented, it wasn't that hard for feds to find the culprits, and all 4 were quickly found and arrested. Lottie's death was especially sad due to him dying just before the drill scene in the Bronx really started to kick off. Just 2 months before Lottie's death, Lottie dropped his first drill song called Fours Talk, which was at a time when the Bronx drill scene wasn't really popping off. The YGs were actually some of the first in the Bronx to jump on UK drill beats in late 2019. Around 45 minutes away from the Bronx in Brooklyn, many rappers were starting to hit big numbers on drill beats, like Fivio Foreign and Pop Smoke, to say a couple names. But the Bronx put a different type of swing to the drill genre, with different sets in this beef having different dance moves, like the RPT gang doing bunny hops. Younger YG's members from the River Park Towers complex wanted to get in on the trend of the drill music which was popping in Brooklyn, with some early songs like RPT Buggin', but the YG's gang really started to gain some traction traction when a YG's rapper called Dthang dropped his first solo track called Caution, which at the time was one of the rudest drill songs to come out the Bronx. This came months after his cousin from the other side of this feud, Kayflock, dropped his debut song called FTO, and both artists were starting to hit serious numbers, running up millions on each song, and all attention in New York was starting to shift towards the Bronx. This came during the summer of 2020, and with the rise of drill songs in the area, also came with the rise of violence, and 2020 proved to be a deadly year for the whole of the Bronx. After the death of Wu Lottie, the streets were starting to get hot. 2 months later, a 20-year-old from a completely different separate gang in the Bronx was sitting in the back of a cab around 2 blocks away from his block. A white BMW pulled up next to the cab and started firing into the back of the car. The man hit was a guy called Ty Benji, and he was from a block called the McKinley Houses, a block which has beef with the majority of the south of Bronx, so it's not even clear who committed the shooting, with the YGs and the OGs both mocking Ty Benji in their songs. Ty Benji was put in intensive care, and he was being treated in the medical center near where he was shot. But while Ty Benji was being treated for his wounds, 2 days later, an opposing gang to Ty Benji's set also suffered a loss. The OGs gang were having a barbecue on Davison Avenue when shots were fired into the crowd, when a stray bullet hit a 17-year-old who went by the name B Diddy in the neck, which killed him. B Diddy grew up around members of the OGs gang, but he was actually never involved in the street life. He was actually a very talented and highly sought over basketball.
And that's the sad thing about the streets as well, man. Like, you can be a citizen, you could be somebody that's not really involved in the shit that's going on for real, and you could still end up a victim. It don't matter whether it's by murder or robbery, etc., and stuff. So at the end of the day, man, it's just a whole lot of people involved getting their lives messed up over this stuff that's going on. And that's why I say, man, shit like this is why the street life continues to exist, because it's always gonna be some type of retaliation wanted by any side that's affected through the street violence and shit like that. And like I said, it's people that really care about these people. So once you do something to somebody, you open the door for any and anybody on that side, or people that was cool with that person, to want to do something to you in return just because of what you did. So it's just a crazy situation. That's why you got a lot of people trying to get out the hood when they can, because being in the hood, whether you a citizen or somebody that's in the street life for real, you never know when your day might come where it's over with for you and shit. So that's why you got a lot of people trying to do everything they can possible to get up out the hoods and stuff and go live in areas and locations where they won't be really affected by anything like this for real, personally or physically, etc., stuff like that. So with that said, man, if you in the hood, you just gotta do whatever you can to really get up out of there for real, man, because if you don't want to end up a statistic, that's the only realistic thing for you to do, man. You just try to do everything you can in your power to get up out of there. It's just that simple. With that said, man, we're gonna continue on.
Player. He graduated high school just a few days before his murder, and just hours before his murder, he was in talks with one of the best basketball colleges in the whole of the country. But despite his non-involvement in the streets, this didn't stop rival gangs to the OGs taunting his death in songs, with YGs regularly mentioning him in drill tracks. 2 days later, stuff wasn't looking good for Ty Benji also. While still receiving treatment, his health was starting to take a turn for the worst. Sadly, he was pronounced dead 2 days later after he was shot. These two murders so close together sparked a complete war throughout the south of the Bronx in the whole of 2020, with bodies dropping throughout the whole of the year. And with the rise of violence, also came with the rise of the attention on the music. But despite Kayflock starting to build an opportunity for himself outside the streets, he was still making it clear he was still knees deep in the streets, with him constantly insta-living himself, spinning ops blocks, recording himself running down YG's members, which was seeming like a trend in the Bronx, to record themselves committing these crimes.
Go! Hey, buddy. Come on, hop back in. Hop back in. It took. Oh! Matter of fact, take a left and go through this. They know somebody over here, bro.
If you want to be on camera, you
Yeah,
want to be
man,
behind
y'all,
the camera,
they be making it
you
too
want to
easy,
do radio,
man.
podcast, whatever it
Police,
is.
they
This
just
is a
sitting
program in
back,
full.
rubbing their hands together, smiling right now, bro. Like, That's why I say, man, y'all gotta be careful with y'all posting on social media. Y'all don't gotta do all that to prove y'all selves to everybody, man. Because at the end of the day, only thing that should matter is your people and people you surround yourself with know you really like that for real. Because at the end of the day, the ops, none of them, they ain't gonna respect you even if you really is on that type of time. And for real, they gonna still try to say, oh, you ain't really living that lifestyle, even though you did things that's very verified or credible that you did and stuff to show that you really do that type of lifestyle. But at the end of the day, man, this is how some people are, man. They gonna do whatever they want to do and post whatever they want to post on social media, and they don't care about the repercussions for real and stuff like that. So when you got a lot of this existing on your social media, and if you get jammed up, the police and judge are going to be reluctant to even try to let you get a bond or something, get out of a situation and stuff for real if it's a felony and shit like that. Once they see you doing shit like this, every time you go to jail, if you do keep getting out and going back, they just gonna find a way to add more time to your sentencing for whatever crimes you done committed, especially if you commit a murder and stuff. At that point, you definitely out the game. Once they see what you done did, something like that, they not gonna wanna try to give you a bond, nothing. They just gonna try to hold you for however long your trial or case goes and stuff. And once it's over with, you still just gonna be locked up and you're gonna have to do that time. Just that simple. And some people, they be up in there forever and they don't got no chance of getting out or any chance at parole at all. So you just gotta think about the things you do for real, because it's definitely consequences behind it, man. And you definitely don't want to go to no justice system to get that to happen to you, because at the end of the day, the justice system gonna do everything they can to bury you. It's just that simple.
Come outside, we in front of our building. Look, we're in front of our building.
But soon in 2021, Kayflock's life would take a turn for the better. After the recent successes in his songs, it was clear he was a big star in the Bronx. It was rumored that Kayflock had signed a multi-million record deal with Capitol Records, and it wasn't hard to see that Kayflock had just signed a big deal, with him flexing on his socials with a new bust-down cardi and chain, while driving new foreign cars throughout his hood. But in 2021, while Kayflock was moving up in the world, back at home in the Bronx, the war was starting to get worse. Less than a few weeks before Kayflock took the deal, another member of the YGs called Ty Swish was shot dead inside his apartment block. And only 4 days after this, a member of Kayflock's gang called J-Rip K was also shot dead. The most shocking thing about this murder was that J-Rip was only 13 years old. Reports from police say that the possible motive for J-Rip's killing was due to him possibly having a role in the murder of Ty Swish, with J-Rip allegedly being on the site of the murder when it happened. Two 16-year-old YG's members were wanted for the murder of J-Rip K, one being a rapper called Rajiz. But before the feds could get to Rajiz, the ops got there first. 9 hours after the murder of J-Rip, Rajiz got into the back of a cab on his way to a recording studio. When the cab got to East 178th Street, the car got stuck in traffic. This is when two boys pulled up next to the cab in a scooter and let off shots into Rajiz, killing him instantly inside the cab at 16 years old. Southside rapper Kayflock is seen constantly reminiscing on his younger friend J-Rip in his lyrics and on social media. Kayflock is even seen running to J-Rip's aid after hearing he was shot and collapsed at a local restaurant. But unfortunately, it was all too late. After his friend's murder, Kayflock started to elevate in his music, dropping hits after hits, which seemed like a dedication to make it out the Bronx streets. But even despite signing a multi-million-dollar deal, it seemed like his heart was still in the streets, still videoing himself touring his art's block and arguing with rival YG's members on Insta Live. And in December 16th, 2021, this got him into some serious deep trouble. Wearing the Moncler jacket and some Amiri jeans, a masked up man starts to post up on his art's block in Sugar Hill, territory of the Old Wise gang. The masked up man then proceeds to FaceTime his ops, letting them know that he's on his block. And while he's walking through the block, he's confronted by a man who spots him in a barbershop. An argument breaks out and the man is shot in his neck and back and later dies in hospital. Kayflock was actually identified to be the alleged masked up man and the shooter in this case. And on the 23rd of December, Kayflock actually hands himself into police authority after being wanted for the murder. I'm not gonna go too deep into his case because obviously it's still ongoing, but hopefully he is innocent. And on the other side, Kayflock's op cousin and YG's rapper Dthang was also in some big trouble as well. He's currently locked up for 21 different criminal charges stemming from gun possession and drug charges. And if he's found guilty for most of the charges, he's looking at a long time in jail. Now, Kayflock and Dthang are both sitting in...
And y'all already know, well, for y'all that don't know, New York, you get caught with a gun, you just definitely done. They don't tolerate that at all. Like, it's very hard. They one of the states in the US where it's very hard to even be able to own a gun legally. Like, you could have the cleanest record and it's still hard for you to own a gun out there, because I done heard celebrities, I done heard YouTubers that stay out there say that it's very hard. Like, they done had the cleanest records and they still get denied sometimes to even apply to own a gun for real legally. So when you get to be able to earn, what the word I'm trying to look for? When you able to own one legally, it's definitely a long process, and it definitely take a lot for them to go ahead and say, all right, yeah, you can legally go ahead and purchase you weapons and stuff like that and stuff. So it's just one of those states where if you got one illegally and you a known gang member and a felon, etc., they don't take that lightly at all. They gonna do whatever they can to keep you locked up for a long time, man. Y'all already seen what happened to Bobby Shmurda and all of those guys and stuff. Even if some of them didn't actually commit crimes with guns and stuff, if you got one illegally, you definitely doing a lot of time out there for real. So it's definitely crazy for both of them, because Kayflock obviously he pretty much had the bag to move around. Like, he could have definitely got up out of there and started living somewhere else and doing his thing and stuff. But it just goes to show you, man, a lot of these guys, that's all they pretty much know. They know the streets. They comfortable being in the street life and stuff. That's all they know. That's what they grew up around. And it's hard for them to pretty much stop doing those things and stuff. Even though they know they got the money to move around and stop, it's just hard for them because that's what they used to doing and stuff. So for Kayflock, with this whole situation, I feel like it ain't really looking too good for him. It's too much already out there right now that's going around and showing that he's the main suspect in that situation. And now for his cousin, like I said, he got all them charges, and then some of them being with weapons. It ain't looking good for him either. And they obviously can't own weapons for real legally, so that's another thing that's definitely gonna be a situation for them to try to overcome for real. And they just gonna have to sit and do that time. But we gonna see, man, because they both still got those cases ongoing. They not really over with at all right now, but right now their chances is very slim. And I'm gonna just leave it at that, but we're gonna continue on because the video is almost over.
The infamous Rikers Island jail complex, known for its poor conditions and violence. It's also a jail that most people who are awaiting a trial in New York go to. A lot of different gangs are situated inside the prison, which causes a lot of violence. Kayflock and Dthang even bumped into each other and got into a little situation while locked up. And after the situation, both dropped freestyles dissing each other through prison phone lines. Kayflock states that he jumped Dthang.
I walked in the spot up on hot. Walked in the spot and got hot. I'm in jail now. Get posted in London. We gonna follow.
But Dthang states that Kayflock is lying.
Kayflock, why you locked on the net? Cause son, I got hot me. You know that cat. And for what, we gonna get to the fact you saw me face to face and you wasn't on that. Like, stop the lying and we clip hours and I start firing.
It's starting to look like the Bronx is becoming a trap impossible to get out of, with some of the most promising artists being taken down before they could get out, with the likes of YG's rapper Lee Drilly being charged for a murder, and up-and-coming Southside rapper C-Hot being brutally shot down in a car, and one of the most hottest rappers, Dougie B, from Southside being in and out of jail, and YouTuber even trying to take down his tracks. Hopefully more Bronx artists start to realize that this is a way out, and in the future we could possibly start to see the biggest biggest artists in hip hop coming from the Bronx. It's been your boy Kid Nerd, and peace out.
Yeah, man, that's pretty much the end of the vid, man. Just got a lot of stuff going on in New York right now with the streets and shit, so definitely don't see none of this calming down no time soon, and it's just too much history behind they beefs and stuff for this shit to really ever pretty much cease to exist. So that's it though, man. That's pretty much the end of the video, man. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to the video and the video itself in general, whatever the case may be, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button now if you haven't already. And also make sure you guys smash that like button and comment on the video, and also make sure you guys don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel as well, and hopefully they become supporters of the channel. And also don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos, and be sure you don't miss out on new videos that I drop, because sometimes post notifications do not work at all. Check out the channel every day, no matter the time of the day, just so you can stay up to date. And also don't forget to add and follow me on social media. All my social media platforms are listed down below in the description box, as well as in the intro of the video, so you shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. With that said though, man, that's the end of the vid. I'm gonna catch you guys later on with more, so stay tuned. Peace.